So, I may have come to a bit of an epiphany. Back in my update video not long ago, I talked about how my computer had pretty much just died. Like, I had no MacBook for a couple months. My entire logic board had just fried. I lost everything I was working on, from various video essay scripts and even some video files of other things I had been working on were just gone. Everything was gone. And I was left to kind of do nothing for 2 months and just really reevaluate what it was that I wanted to do. And I didn't quite figure it out once I got the computer back. I thought I could go back to doing everything as it was before and just kind of keep it going and going, same as usual. But I got to thinking a bit more. You see, for people who pretty much watch me exclusively on this channel, you may not know what I've kind of been doing outside of this channel. I've already told you guys in my update video that I have started a new channel with my friends Josh and Steve called Cinema Cube, and it's kind of a new passion project of mine that I've been developing for a while, and it's something I've been working on a bit more consistently than this channel, and it's still going great. Everything's going amazing with that channel. I'm loving everything we're doing. In fact, as of recording, yesterday we recorded another episode, and it was on one of my favorite movies, Vampire's Kiss, which is kind of an infamous Nicolas Cage film that has a cult following, and it's really important to his career, and I just really love it. Like, unironically, I think it's a really awesome movie for a lot of reasons. But while covering that film, I started to get certain feelings about what was going on with me creatively while watching the movie. Then in the midst of that, I've also been helping my fiance develop her own YouTube channel by operating a camera, giving some input on her scripts here and there, and kind of directing her a little bit in live action segments of her videos whenever she's on camera. And that is something I have really enjoyed doing with her. I really enjoy being behind the camera quite a lot. And it's been very much a privilege to be able to work on that and watch her grow and kind of see myself grow in certain ways that I haven't been able to before. And in the midst of recording that C3 video, her most recent video has absolutely skyrocketed in terms of viewership and like subscriber rates that I have never seen in all my years of being on this platform. Which kind of leads me to talk about how long I've actually been on here. It's been a long time. Like, you all may only know me from this channel, which has been around for a few years now. But the thing is, this is my second channel. My channel before this one was very different. I've gone through reinventing myself several times. And my channel before this one, which was simply known as Doombox or Doombox Productions, a dumb, cringy name, I know, but please bear with me. That previous channel, I obviously wasn't myself. I was still very much in the closet at the time. I needed some kind of creative outlet to at least in a small way express a little bit of my personality, or In some other ways, it was me trying to create a new version of myself that was acceptable to people. And I gotta say, it never really worked out. It's not that I regret making that channel or anything, because I don't. It's where I first learned a lot about this platform, about how to make videos. I reinvented myself a couple times on that channel. One of those times, I was kind of reinvented to be just this ginger nerd guy that wore a Deadpool hat and had some Deadpool memorabilia. Because I was and still am a big Deadpool fan, and I just leaned into that part of my personality and kind of created a bit of a character. It's quite cringy looking back, but I think it was essential to my growth in the long run. It's where I gained my earliest internet friends, such as Rocco Ruiz, Jor-El Blue, Ryan Jacob. Hell, this is actually whenever I first kind of got into contact with Houston Coley, aka Houston Productions 1. Like, that was whenever we first started talking and kind of became friends. Was in my earlier era of making videos on the Doombox channel. And it's the first channel that I actually publicly released a short film on. It was my first officially completed and publicly known about short film, Stray. I was really proud of it at the time, and even though I see a lot of the flaws in it now, I'm still proud of it to this day. That channel was a lot of growing pains, and figuring out who I really was a really painful process through that channel. And there were lots of friends that I made that I either lost, or they just don't really have much of a presence on the internet anymore, and I don't really talk to them. And I kind of mourn those days in some ways, but in other ways, I'm kind of glad I'm past them. And yeah, I killed that channel. I mean, you may still be able to find it, but all the videos on it are private now. I don't really have anything I did publicly available for multiple reasons. And one of them was back whenever I started this channel, the one that you're watching right now, I was skirting a really dangerous line by coming out on the internet as a trans woman while still being very much in the closet in my private life. It has been a struggle to get to the point to where I am now, where I am fully out publicly and privately. But much like the last channel, this channel was kind of my way of trying to find myself. Rather than trying to create a character like in the Doombox channel, I was using this channel as a way of finding out who I really was, what I was really interested in, and what my personality was. And it has been rough. It has been a difficult journey. I wouldn't have been able to make it through without the excellent friends I've made in Josh and Steve, and all the various trials that this channel has given me. And to think that this channel all started with a One Marvelous Scene video, which was like one of the craziest things I have ever been a part of. And I've kind of been chasing that success ever since. The only time I've ever had success anywhere close to the One Marvelous Scene video is in the Zack Snyder video I made, which, regardless of what some people will tell you, I made that video completely in earnest. And even though I have a lot of complicated feelings on it now, I am really proud of the work that I put into it. And regardless of all the pain that it's brought me since making it, from harassment to people thinking I was some kind of grifter making that, and just so much needless cruelty and hate in the mix of people who are very positive about it. It's a video that, as I've said, it has left a very complex kind of bitter taste in my mouth in the long run. And while I've always enjoyed the kinds of videos that I make on here, some more than others, I've just kind of lost any luster I ever had for making video essays. And before you freak out, that's not me saying that this channel is dying like my previous channel. That's not at all what's happening. Because I actually really enjoy having this channel, and I like being able to continue to experiment and find myself through this channel, but I can't force myself into the hustle mindset of making video essays and trying to keep up with an algorithm that doesn't make any sense. Also, just committing to one style or one specific genre of videos like this. Whenever I started making videos on the previous channel and going over into this channel, in addition to trying to figure out myself, it was also something to tide me over creatively, to in some way give me something to do and a way to express myself, while in the background I tried to get my film career to take off. And I kinda foolishly hoped that with the insane success of the One Marvelous Scene video and in the Zack Snyder video, this success that I've been chasing, that I would find some genuine level of success doing videos on this channel. And I forced myself into a box that I was never really comfortable in. Like, if I told you the amount of videos I have publicly announced that I've been working on, as opposed to the videos I've actually fully completed and released, it's kind of an absurd list. It's just not something that I can see myself doing for the long term. I feel that as I've been doing things, the way it's been done, it's kind of run its course, especially after I lost all of those video essay scripts that I had been working on, one of which actually tied all the way back to my first channel, because I was getting into the really dark side of pop culture and film review channels on this platform. I was getting into how the alt-right has invaded this space in such an egregious way and made things far less fun. Like, one of my old friends from my first channel, from back whenever I was Doombox, fell down this pipeline, this rabbit hole, and became someone that I am ashamed to have ever in my life associated with. It's very, very depressing. I tried and tried to write a video diving into all of this, and it was a script that I poured so much research and so much of my soul into, and by the end of it, I couldn't even go through with it because it hurt too much, and I ultimately felt that I wasn't doing anything valuable or anything that would help make this space better. In fact, I felt if I had successfully made that video, it would have only made this space even worse because it would have given attention to these people. And it would have only given them more fuel for their toxic dumpster fire of a subculture that they've created on this platform that I despise having to share space with. And on the flip side of that, I've been scared to reinvent myself because I don't want to end up like the horror stories of people destroying their channels, like the tragic case of Bobby Burns, or in another instance with Zane's In Praise of Shadows channel, where these were people that I had a really sizable amount of respect for once upon a time, but just really lost it in some form or another. Bobby Burns went through so many phases of reinvention that I'm honestly not even sure if he knew who he was by the end of it. He's just kind of disappeared. And I don't want to end up like that. And I also don't want to be someone that commits so hard to chasing success through video essays that I become a very judgmental, pretentious asshole, like In Praise of Shadows, and making this 3-hour-long video that is an utter embarrassment in many ways. And I can't do that. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to my audience. So where do I go from here? And then I realized that a lot of the people that I followed early on whenever I started this YouTube journey have all recreated themselves in some way or another, sometimes multiple times, and they've had far better success than the horror stories of Bobby Burns. My friends Jorel Blue and Rocco Ruiz, back whenever I was on my old channel, Rocco has leaned harder into his art career, and that, from everything I've seen, has gone incredibly well. He's probably one of the best artists I've ever known. I've gotten the privilege to ever have as a friend of mine. He still covers movies from time to time, and like he's amazing at what he does. And my friend Jorel Blue, well, he doesn't really make the movie music videos that he used to, videos I love, and it was kind of this short-lived thing. He still does a lot of gaming content now, and he still works on music with people. It seems as if he's found a sweet spot where he still gets to do things that he wants to do without completely overwhelming himself and just burning out and just disappearing. Hell, my friend Houston Coley, I mean, he reinvented his channel, Houston Productions, I don't even know how many times. Like, I don't even know how many times he reinvented that channel. It was crazy. But, you know, he went from doing kind of pop culture content like how I did initially, to then moving on to being a video essayist with videos that I really loved. Like his Secret Life of Walter Mitty video is one of my personal favorites to have ever graced this platform. And then he moved on to doing videos that were about kind of merging his two sides of being a spiritual person and being a person that really appreciates art. And then that kind of transformed into the Art Within podcast. And then him and his wife made this documentary that I am holding in my hands right now. And this documentary is beautiful. This wouldn't have existed had Houston not been comfortable with reinventing himself and doing things that were outside of the box of what people knew of him to make. And even people that I just watch on here that I don't personally know, like Samantha Lux, for example, I followed her way back, whatever, she was still just a gay twink doing makeup tutorials before she even came out as a trans woman. And whenever she came out as a trans woman, that's kind of whenever I started to figure myself out. Or we were figuring ourselves out around the same time, at least. Then she just did transition vlogs, and now she is doing like activism and response videos and reaction videos to certain things, and doing stuff that is more fun for her, as well as being really important work for her community, for our community. And I really enjoy her content now, even though it's entirely different from the stuff that she used to do. And after having a discussion with my fiance last night about all these things that I was processing and dealing with, she said something to me that kind of made me think. And it was, I've maybe been chasing success doing one thing for so long that I haven't stopped to ask whether or not I'm actually fulfilled and what it is I'm doing. And whenever I really ask myself that question, I have been fulfilled, but not making video essays. In fact, at any time I dive into making another video essay, I just feel like I'm beating my head against a wall. Like I'm not going anywhere, and I'm just forcing myself to will something into existence. And it is a painful process, and it's not a process I particularly enjoy doing. And it's not one that leaves me fulfilled by the end of it, even though I'm proud of the work. What I have been very fulfilled by, however, is Curse Cinema Cube. I've loved doing this with Josh and Steve, creating this entirely new thing that is very much inspired by a lot of things that I love, like Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Double Toasted's commentary movie roasts, or Good Bad or Bad Bad. That's the kind of stuff that I find myself really, really loving and wanting to continue making, because it allows me to get off of my pretentious high horse that I feel like I have to force myself onto with video essays, and just experience a work of art with two of my favorite people and give really interesting analysis and dives into film history in a way that is fun and entertaining for everyone involved. Like, that is why I love doing Curse Cinema Cube. I know if you just look at it at first glance, it seems like it's kind of this mean-spirited thing that we made to just shit on movies. Something like EFAP or whatever bullshit that is. But it's really not. Curse Cinema Cube comes from such an insane place of love for each other, me, Josh, and Steve, and also a love for film. And it doesn't matter what film that is. It can be an absolute trash fire, or it can be a secret hidden gem that's just really, really weird. And at the end of the day, we find really beautiful ways to talk about the film and like laugh about it and laugh about ourselves. You know, like it feels like the most earnest expression of my love of films that I have never really been able to do in my entire time doing movie reviews or video essays. I gotta say it, I think I just want to do Curse Cinema Cube. That's what I really want to commit to. And that's not to say that, you know, I don't want to do movie reviews or, you know, some things like that every now and then. Like, I love doing end of the year lists. I love talking about more recent movies that aren't exactly weird and are just movies that I really like, or maybe in some cases don't like Strangers Chapter 1. But I've kind of found that through just doing like TikTok videos or videos on YouTube Shorts, just doing little reviews here and there about movies or opinions on recent things. Yeah, like making video essays is really not where my heart is at anymore. Believe me, I came back full force into trying to do it as soon as I got my computer back, and I can't. And I felt it was better to be honest about that rather than just kind of keep pussyfooting around the issue. And I know that that is pretty disappointing for a lot of people that loved my video essays and were very interested in seeing more stuff like that. And believe me, some part of me really wants to keep going, but I know that if I force myself to do it, I'm gonna burn out and wither and die. And that kind of brings me to Vampire's Kiss, because I said how that movie made me think a lot about my current situation, and that is the production history of that movie, where the writer of the film, Joseph Minion, was in a toxic relationship of sorts, and he kind of, out of sheer force of will, wrote the script for Vampire's Kiss and had intentions to direct it. But through one thing or another, he just burned out. He couldn't stay in that toxic feeling anymore, and he couldn't make the movie. And he kind of just faded out of relevance in Hollywood altogether, despite making After Hours right before Vampire's Kiss. I think about that a lot, and I don't want to be that. I want to be someone that can keep being myself in a way that is authentic and fresh and still enjoy what I'm doing, you know? Even if my film career were to never take off, if Red Revival never got made, it would be heartbreaking. It'd be absolutely heartbreaking for me. But never in my life have I reached a point where I found something that if it were successful instead, I'd be okay with not being a filmmaker. And that is doing videos on Curse Cinema Cube. Curse Cinema Cube is my baby. I absolutely love it. I just want to do more of it. I never want to stop doing it. As difficult as all this is to hear right now, I really hope that you all will give Curse Cinema Cube a chance and join me over there as well. Like, I'll probably still do videos on here from time to time, but after doing a lot of soul searching, I've realized that I don't think it can really be my priority anymore, as much as that stings to say. So, I will once again sign off, as I always do. Be sure to keep a steady stride, and I'll see you all on the other side.